Well, Rhonesha, you're the CEO of Her Agenda. Just talk
Mhm.
about how you started out in media and how it propelled you to your current state.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely what I like to call a purpose driven or mission driven entrepreneur. And just to start out, my roots are in Brooklyn. I'm a Brooklyn girl, born and raised. And just shout out to Brooklyn. You know how us Brooklyn folks are. We always have to shout out our borough. But with that in mind, I started my career and my path in journalism when I was just 16 years old. So I was still a high school student. And it really was sort of like an aha moment because I was able to really recognize that the skills and characteristics that I've always grown up with as a kid that I sort of took for granted as just, this is just my personality. I was always called nosy, which is curiosity, which you need for journalism. I was always called the tattletale, which is really like the first stages of reporting crime, which, I worked in local news actually for a time where I had to report crime. So, I say all that to say for anyone listening, often our natural sort of characteristics we don't really recognize as skills to fulfill our purpose and mission in life. And so I was lucky that I was able to recognize like early in life that that was my purpose. And so that led me into journalism as a young teenager. And fast forward to college, I took a women's studies class and learned actually that, everything that I had learned in terms of my worldview, in terms of women in power, was actually not true. So I learned that the patriarchy was still a thing, that the gender pay gap still existed. And I was just completely shocked because the world that I was in, I was surrounded by powerful women, women who were producers, women who were publicists, women who were literally calling the shots. I saw them move mountains and nobody, asked twice about it. They were like, so and so called, this needs to happen. And I thought that was reflective of the world at large. And when I learned that it wasn't, I wanted to use, what I had at my disposal to try to change it, to try to change the ratio. And I understand that with the world as it is, that you can't be what you can't see. And so that plays into what De'Von was saying about those who control the media, control the mind. And so I wanted to create a platform that would showcase the stories of powerful women to inspire the next generation of women leaders, but also provide to them the information they needed to take action on that inspiration, right? Like, what's the sense of being inspired to achieve, but then you have no access to resources? So our platform actually uniquely combines the storytelling with actionable resources that somebody can use to, get in the room. A lot of people say you need a seat at the table, you need to be in the room. You can't be in the room if you don't know the room exists in the first place. And so we act as that platform to provide both of those things. And we're built around a mindset and a mantra of no one ever slows her agenda, which actually started as an acronym for my nickname which is Nisha. My full name is Rhonesha. I go by Nisha, but that acronym really developed into a universal mindset and mantra for the site, which means whatever your goal is, go for it. Don't let anyone or anything stop you. And when I was first starting out, what was stopping me essentially is I had no connections in the industry. I was young. So there was so many things that said, who are you to be on this red carpet? Who are you to be covering this press conference? Who are you to be telling this story? And I really come from the mindset of, I'm not going to stop and or tell myself no unless someone tells me no. And until this point, no one has stopped me yet.
Right.